And that is a good old-fashioned hiding, whatever way you look at it.
They've just been outplayed in a big way.
Yeah, clearly didn't go to plan. New Zealand sort of jumped us from the start and didn't allow us to get into, I suppose, the way that we wanted to play, which is full credit to New Zealand as well. I think sometimes, failure, there's not enough credit given to your opponent. We've got a lot of good players in that room. There were good players before the game started, and they're good players post the game as well. So if we get a better start in the power play, the game looks a hell of a lot different, but we didn't. So that's our reality. So we've got to improve that focus on the power play with the ball and the bat. And we feel as though if we get that right, then the game will follow from there.
The roar says it all. Sri Lanka win. A dominant win. They've got the runs in 15 overs, and that will help the team and their confidence.
I thought yesterday was a super performance. I think that the team played like they did coming out of the Asia Cup, so I think the confidence was obviously there in the style of play that we took on. I thought they carried out their plans very well. They built partnerships. We bowled well, so it almost felt like a complete performance came back together yesterday. We've seen that there's a lot of talent on this team, and they're capable of beating anybody really. But we have to make sure that momentum keeps going forward.
We always expect a really good challenge from Sri Lanka. They're a very good side. They've got some really dangerous players. Hopeful that our conditions will suit us more than it suits them. Certainly coming from playing in Sri Lanka during the year, we know they've got some world-class spinners, which we'll look to take on and be really aggressive in Australia. And it's a huge game. Every game's a huge game from now on in, so we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, they've got a dynamic batting group, so we might tinker a little bit with our power play bowling. That may be one thing that changes a little bit, and that's purely based upon the opposition and the surface. We'll be challenged with spin again, like we were against New Zealand. Vikshana, Hasaranga, Dhananjaya, De Silva, potentially maybe another spinner in there. So I think that's going to be our great challenge as this tournament goes on. I think against pace, we're quite... We're not comfortable, but we feel as though that makes a lot more sense on the Australian conditions. But the bigger grounds with the spinning ball, I think that's where oppositions will target us.
It's generally to win the game against Australia because we know how challenging the opponents would be. But again, they got a really decent seam attack as well as Jampai is, he's in good rhythm. So it's just as long as we could tackle the bowling attack, I think as a batsman, for me, the individual task would be to perform and score runs and hit some sixes over the ropes. So hopefully that I would be able to manage that tomorrow.
You've got to keep a clear mind in T20. You can't doubt yourself at any stages, and we're preparing the guys to go out there and to back themselves in again for the next game against Sri Lanka. Probably
out of all the wickets in Australia these days, this one's probably the most foreign for a lot of international teams. It's really quick, it's really bouncy. You've got big square boundaries, which for some people can be quite daunting, but I absolutely love playing here. I think it's the best place in the world to bat. This stadium's incredible. So hopefully we've got a real home ground advantage and we can kickstart our World Cup.